Alright, so welcome to part 2. This is going to be my labor and delivery story. I had a lot going on during labor and delivery. Just the timing was crazy, so the footage that I may or may not decide to insert in this video is probably gonna be all over the place, but yeah. So December 6th, I went into the hospital. Not December 6th, November 6th. November 6th, I went into the hospital. Oh, today's December 6th, by the way. But yeah, November 6th, I went into the hospital, and yeah, I was in labor. I know I was having contractions. I knew that, but I'm always really discouraged to go to the hospital because this is my 5th time. I already know. We gotta prop our feet up and drink lots of water and try to keep our stress levels down. Just relax. But I did end up getting sent home. So the next day when I started to really have contractions, actually like through the night, I just ignored them. I thought they were the round ligament pains that we talked about before. So I actually decided to go Black Friday shopping. Walmart had some sales going on, and it was nothing like all the other years, but I decided to go, and I was just walking around, and I could not hardly stand up. I was trying my best to walk around, and I just could not. I was hurting so bad, and here I am picking out dolls and stuff. But yeah, I seen one of my friends who works there, and I was like, girl, I am about to have this baby. Who knew that I would be having Jackson a few hours later? Because when I left Walmart, I stopped at home and I told my mother, I was like, Mom, can you please keep an eye on the kids? I gotta go to the hospital. And I went into the hospital, and I had actually started dilating, so they decided to keep me because my contractions was causing me to dilate. And because I've had a classical C-section before, I am at a high risk for that to bust if I continue to have contractions for too long. So yes, they decided to go ahead and have me a C-section. So I ended up going ahead and having my C-section. I immediately started calling my family, and I called my husband, and he did not answer the phone, so I called his work phone, and I was like, he didn't even answer. So one of his coworkers answered. I was like, can you please tell him that I'm about to have the baby? Mind you, I had an attitude because the day before, we actually was in the process of moving when I went into labor. So the day before, he actually was moving while I was at the hospital in labor, and I was really mad at him for not being there. I was like, what if I went into labor and you wasn't there and you couldn't make it in time? So he ended up coming right away, and yes, it was like I had to be tested for COVID, and I just had they were running tests on me, had to get my blood work and stuff back before I could actually go back there. So I sat there for a little while having my contractions, and they were getting stronger and more frequent. But baby, I was just really happy, and I was praying to God. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. My whole entire pregnancy, I was scared. One thing that kept me more scared than anything, and I told y'all my faith was shook up, was my surgery. Having to go, I'm gonna cry right now. I was so scared to have surgery again. But I mean, I had no choice. So I ended up, I was laying in the hospital bed, and I actually ended up calming down. For one, my nurses was really reassuring. But God has the last say so that really does not matter. But my husband was asking me, he was just like, what's wrong? Because I didn't want to talk. I wouldn't answer his questions. I was just going through my own little situation. I finally told him, and he immediately came over there and put his hand on me like he always does. But because I have been being so mean, I think that he didn't want to come over there and put his hands on me or anything. But he still chose to come over there, put his hands on me, and he immediately started praying for me. And I appreciate that so much, because that's exactly what I needed. And it definitely calmed me down so much.
Process, watch over Dr. Lord, just watch over everybody who work at home, help deliver this baby, Lord, just be with us, Lord, just comfort us right now, Lord, keep us in the God, Lord, just strengthen us, Lord, we're weak in it, Lord, just watch over us, Lord, you protect us, heal us, guide us, Lord, and just guide us through the procedure.
But yeah, the nurse came in and told me my results was back. COVID free. Thank you, Jesus. So they immediately started preparing me to get ready to go to the back and have surgery. They asked my husband to stay up front until I was ready, and anesthesia walked me back to the OR, the operating room, and the nurses was absolutely amazing. As always, I'm not going to mention any names just for security purposes. I don't know if they want me to, but I know all their names. They did an awesome job. Anyways, my husband finally came in the operating room, and they began giving me surgery, the C-section, and yeah, they lay you down like this, actually laying down though, and this is the first time I've ever had to go through this during a C-section. Thank God my husband was there. Thank God the nurses was there. Anesthesia stayed right by my side. But I started getting lockjaw. Like I'll tell you, but like stuck together like this, and I immediately got scared. And then my arm started shaking. I don't mean like this type of shaking. I mean like jumping up in the air. Like I was shaking. So me being me, I was scared. I started getting so scared. I started panicking, and I knew I started panicking. And especially when I looked up in the ceiling and I seen a glare. I seen a little glare. And let me just be clear. My whole C-section, great. Immediately when they pulled Jackson out of me, he started crying. My whole pregnancy, I was telling people, I've never experienced where you cry after you have the baby. But I have been very, very, very excited. You know, not that I've ever been unhappy. I've always been filled with joy, but I haven't ever just cried like the movie scenes or whatever. Well, they took him out of me. I heard him cry, and I immediately started shedding tears, and that is when my body, I got lockjaw and I started shaking. So I was like this. I was like, is this normal? And then I was talking like that. And they were telling me that was normal, that sometimes your body just reacts, like, because your hormones immediately start to drop after you give birth. And that's when I started shaking and stuff like that. And then I looked up. I was praying. And I didn't want my husband, nobody to talk to me. So I looked up and I seen a glare in the ceiling. The glare is my stomach wide open, cut. And I just was like, you know what? This is not the time to like have a panic attack, anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it. I closed my eyes and I just acted like I was asleep. I just was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep. And yeah, so after that, the doctor did a amazing job on my C-section. Shout outs to her. And yeah, just had the baby. Mike has already went to sleep. Like he was the one over there who had the baby. But yeah, it went well, thank God. And Oh, I'm itching. It's the anesthesia wearing off. But he was 5 pounds, 14 ounces, and I started shaking so bad during surgery. It scared me, but they said it was just a side effect. Well, stay tuned. But yes, after my C-section, I went into the recovery room, and Mike, he is falling asleep. Like, he's the one who just had the baby. But anyways, I'm just very happy he was by my side. And also, I started itching again, and I was just not happy about that. And what else? I keep saying because I'm trying to remember what I'm trying to say. I'm all over the place. Like I said, my kids keep coming to the door, and I'm actually editing that out, so my mind is everywhere. Give me just a minute. Okay, yeah, so I ended up finding out that Jackson had to stay longer than the 2 or 3 days that we normally stay in the hospital and then go home, which I was okay with that. We have had our third child, second son. He was born at 30 weeks, so we completely understood the procedures and the process of bringing him home, and we definitely knew and have experienced why it's best that he wait at the hospital and get taken care of. But God is so good, and it's getting to my point, like where my faith was shook up, like beating all the odds, like amazing. Yeah, he had to stay, and he was born at 35 weeks, and his breathing was awesome. He was able to actually breathe on his own. He immediately started being able to breathe and eat at the same time, and he was able to come up off of his tubes and stuff that he was on, the oxygen that they had him on, just for literally no time. And the nurses up in labor and delivery, let me just tell you, we had 2 or 3 of them. Amazing. They love Jackson like he is their own, and they still keep up with him, and I appreciate that so much. It's so important to have a job like that and actually care for a child like it's your own, and care enough to take care of that baby. Like, it's so important, and I appreciate them so much, and they know that. But COVID definitely made our labor and delivery experience a little different. My mother and mother-in-law are usually, and my husband are usually the first ones there. This time it was only my husband. Even though it was different, I am really happy for the experience, because me and my husband actually had time to relax after it, and I've never realized how much I needed to relax after, because I definitely always get up before I'm supposed to, and I don't usually wait on anything. So I appreciated the little alone time that I had, and I also had with my husband. My kids, that was the most devastating part of my stay. I had to go to sleep on FaceTime with my daughter. They didn't understand they couldn't come up there because my sister-in-law usually had. But yes, our babies really didn't understand the fact that they couldn't be up there. My sister-in-law usually brings them up there, and they usually get to stay with us for a little while. They usually get to see us, so they cried a lot. And I mean, I was a little shook up because I don't like that. I wanted to be able to be there for all 5 of my kids. I didn't want them to be like, oh, Jackson's here and she's taking more time with him, and you know, this is how it's gonna be from this point on. Like, they just didn't understand. So no matter how many times they've been through it, but yes, it was a great experience still. Like I said, when we were able to leave, they gave us a rental room. We don't have to pay to stay there. It's just a room to be able to still be at the hospital with Jackson. It was really hard. I was like, oh my God, these people gonna think we're bad parents because we don't get to stay up there. yeah, I just thought they were gonna be like, they keep leaving the, you know, this, that, and the other, but they were like really understanding that we have 4 other kids at home. And also he came early, so we was not prepared. My baby shower was actually a couple days later, and so I didn't get to have that. We was not ready at all, regardless. And so I had to definitely leave the hospital a lot and just go up there at nighttime. But I did have to like pump because we were breastfeeding. And yeah, so to make sure that I was producing and that I would continue to produce, I would definitely have to breast pump around the clock and also continue to move, be there for the kids, school, family, all that stuff, and still find time to relax and heal and recover. So yes, it was definitely, but I can't complain, and I honestly wouldn't have it no other way. And I look at Jackson now, and I mean, God knows exactly what he's doing when he's doing it, and everything will play out just exactly how it's supposed to. Like, regardless of how you're feeling, that stress is very unnecessary. Like, nothing but the devil working, regardless of what anybody says. Like, it's your life. You know what you can and can't do, even when you don't. I didn't know. God is gonna work it all out. And I look at him and I love him so much. I cried when I found out he was a little boy, but I love him. I wouldn't change his gender for nothing in the world. Here comes Casey, his little diaper. But yes, he is such a sweet baby. He is so handsome, and we're just blessed to be able to have him here, and I'm so glad God worked out the way he did. But I need to go get him. He's actually eating right now, but he actually came home exactly 1 week after he was born, because we were actually told he could be in the hospital as long as 2 to 3 weeks, but he actually did amazing to be a 35 weeker. His weight was great. He was growing really good. He was able to come out from up under the heater. He was able to feed on his own and breathe at the same time without needing oxygen. Yes, it was just definitely a blessing. I'm gonna go get him so I can show y'all him, because I know I was holding him. You only seen his head, but yeah, let me go get him. But yes, so he just got through eating. He's stretching. He really don't want me to bother him. This is baby Jackson. He will be 1 month old tomorrow. Say hey, man. Oh, he still got a burp. I just got him moving around, and I know better than this. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Look, that handsome. But thank you so much for watching and staying tuned. I hope y'all enjoyed the videos. I'm trying so. But yes, I'm really trying hard to keep up with these YouTube videos, having 5 kids and everything else in life going on. It's really hard to maintain keeping it up. I don't see how these really successful YouTubers keep up with it. But yes, this is part 2 to what I already have going on, and I will be making another video. I have one more that I really want to make as soon as I charge my phone up. It will be about my breast feeding journey, breast pumping, what helps me, what's different. So stay tuned for that. Until then, I'll see y'all later, and thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Thank you. See y'all soon.
baby.